Welcome to Kathryn Raaker's World. Innovation, culture, adventure, fashion and health, artists, destinations, traditions. This is Kathryn Raaker's World.
Hi, this is Kathryn Raaker of Kathryn Raaker's World, and our guest today, back again, but for TV, Laurie Elizabeth Murphy, a full-time author of nonfiction and fiction books. Today, she discusses her newest novel, Dreamy Home, which I have read, and I would give a 5-star on it. A story of betrayal, infidelity, and love. Can you remember your first love? Have you ever wished for more chances to experience those feelings and turn back time? Peggy Prescott, the main character, lives a seemingly perfect life, but destiny is closing in. What begins as a whodunit mystery, immersed into a love story, soon transforms into an adventure when or where anything is possible. Peggy's path winds in 2 directions, but which one will she choose? Which one would you choose? Laurie has published many nonfiction books, co-authoring with her late husband to write In Best Interest of the Child, a manual for divorcing parents, 8 strategies for successful step-parenting, and You Don't Know Anything, a manual for parenting teenagers. She has also written and self-published Satori, Wherever the Wind Blows Me, and Cellophane Memories. Additionally, she writes a bi-monthly column for My Living, a local magazine. Dreamy Home is her debut fiction novel. It is a psychological thriller, drawing from her own career as a therapist. She is currently writing a sequel to Dreamy Home. So welcome back to our show, Laurie. How are you today?
I'm good. Hi, Kathryn. Thank you so much for having me back.
Every time I see you, you look younger.
Oh, good. Good. Keep me on as long as possible.
Okay. So, one of the things that I was so surprised about is that, and if you don't mind me telling people this, is that
Yes,
you found your first love since your husbands are both gone. You
yes.
found your first love and you talk to each other, which is really cool, I think.
Yeah, don't be so happy. It may not have the ending that you're hoping for.
No, and I'm not hoping for an ending
Okay.
I'm looking for. I mean, people come into our lives for a reason. Am I
They
right?
do. They do. And unfortunately, some of us changed and some of us don't. I didn't. Unfortunately.
You didn't change?
No, I really didn't. I didn't. I'm still 16 years old in my mind. But unfortunately, he seems to have changed and gotten older.
Well, that's what happens when you get older.
I know, but
He's not the fun 15-year-old that you are.
no, that's exactly right. So that was kind of sad.
Right. And one of the characters in my book is real.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah,
You're going to find out which one is real.
That's right.
Shortly. So anyhow, what I was going to say is, how long did it take you to write this wonderful, beautiful book, Dreamy Home?
It took me about 3 years, only because the only time I'm a perfectionist in life, well, twice in nursing, which was my original career, I was a perfectionist, and raising kids, not so much. I just let them kind of do their thing. I mean, I was supervising them, but whatever they wanted to do, wherever they wanted to go. But writing, I am a perfectionist, and so it would have taken me maybe a year at most, except every day I would write something and I'd think, this is perfect. And then I'd go to bed and I'd wake up and I'd read it and I'm like, this is garbage. And then I'd throw it away and start over. I'd extract one or two good sentences and start over. So it was a lot of starting over. It was a lot of cutting down trees. I did, though, donate money to the tree people because it's a lot of paper that I used.
Well, I have to tell you, when I did that book that you're reading right now with my son, he's a major perfectionist. And finally I said to him, this is great. Let's get it finished.
Yeah, it's almost like someone has to take the book away from you and go, it's perfect. You can't do any better. Stop.
Right. And that's what my publisher said. That's what everybody said, that, you know, that it's a work of art. And that's, am I right?
Yeah, your book, yes. I started it and then unfortunately I had company, but it's not the kind of book that I want to put down because there's a lot going on in it. And so I'm going to start. I got to page 50 and I went, no, I'm not doing this book justice. It's too good. So I stopped and I'm going to take it up tomorrow. I've got nothing going on and I'm going to read it right through because
I'm going to call you afterwards.
Well, you should, because every sentence is meaningful. It's not just fluff.
He's that kind of, he was a journalist, you know, and that makes a difference, I think.
Yes, yes.
So anyhow, but, you know, I think that how much inspiration did you have with this book?
You know, I was a therapist for 38 years. And so each time a patient would come in, I'd always think, a new patient, what are they really doing here? Because patients don't like to tell you exactly, I mean, I'm a stranger to them at first, what they're really doing here. So they go beat around the bush. And with my characters, I was like, okay, what is this character doing here? So it was sort of like brainstorming from the whole 38 years of knowing people's stories that invented my characters. And once they were on the page, then they took me on the ride.
So anyhow, I have to tell you, the book, when I started reading it, I was going, oh no, I don't know what's happening, what's real or what's not, you know. And the funny thing is, the characters are very unbelievable. They're in the sense of the husband especially. And would you say the character, your main character, Peggy, she's a quiet little thing?
You know, she was, yes, some people might have said she's a doormat, maybe even a dormouse. But once there was a little crack in the marriage, she started looking at her husband differently. And then she realized, no, I have a voice and I'm going to express it. And that she did.
And you know, the funny thing is that there are a lot of women out there that are exactly like Peggy.
Yes.
And it's funny because I can relate to it I've never been quiet though. You sometimes are afraid of the person or something like that. So I'm glad I got counseling.
Well, Peggy was a pleaser. And I am a pleaser. So I know how she felt when she first came into the book. She just didn't want to hurt anybody's feelings. She went along for the ride. You know, nothing was that important that she wanted to make waves. But all of a sudden she realized, you know, that's not getting her anywhere. And she really had an opinion. And it wasn't that she was going to hurt somebody's feelings to express. She needed to stand on her own 2 feet. And, you know, that comes with baggage, but she did it.
I don't want to give anything away because I'll tell you what, you're, like you said, you don't know what's going to happen until the very last page. And then you let everybody hang.
Well,
that's why you're doing another book.
Yeah,
right.
I really tried to wrap it up with the exception of one person. I didn't know for sure I was going to do a sequel, but my readers have said to me, what do you think's ever happened to Rob, who's Peggy's husband? And I'm like, I don't know, because he's fiction. Oh, I didn't tie up all of my characters. But I didn't also think I was going to do a sequel. I don't like a loose ending. I have more respect for people than to just leave it open-ended. Readers invest a lot of time. I wanted it to be completely wrapped up as they thought it should go. I made one ending and I know the ending. People that have read the book said, but couldn't have gone this way. Yes, it could have possibly gone that way if that's what you want. It didn't, because that's not how I wrote it. But people would say, even the characters that were tied up, what happened to them? What happened? I'm like, I don't know. They're fictional. And they're like, no, no. But what do you think happened? And finally I thought, well, you know what? I think there's going to have to be a sequel here. And so I'm well into halfway through the sequel. And I did not know I had such an evil side to me. I never thought of myself that way.
You have
But
an evil side?
I didn't have one until I wrote this book. But writing a mystery all of a sudden seems to be coming very naturally to me, which I'm suspicious about.
Well, I was the same way with, with the first book I wrote. And then the second book, my son got more evil.
Uh-huh. I just wanted this to be a love story, but it certainly didn't turn out that way.
So anyhow, here's my question.
Yeah.
Is Peggy, without giving
Uh-huh.
anything away, going to be
Uh-huh.
still in the next book?
Peggy is going to have a voice. Yes.
That's what I thought.
Uh-huh.
Okay, that's good because she's good.
Uh-huh. Well, she knows everything, doesn't she?
Yes, she
We
does.
wouldn't give it away if we said how it opens, would we?
No, go ahead.
Okay, so Peggy, the opening of the book is Peggy's narrating this book from the grave. She's dead. And because of that, she gets to see 360 degrees, the ins and outs of every single character of the book. And that makes us know them so well. And that's why we care about them or we hate them. We love them, we hate them, but what we don't have is we don't feel just nothing for them. We either want them to be our best friends or we hope we never hear from them again.
I have to tell you that it seems almost like a coma when I say that she's looking down, but she's looking down, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
If you've ever had that life-death experience.
And we don't always have insight into ourselves. We think we do. But from her position in the book, she not only knows the characters, but she knows what she's thinking all the time, and she tells you. And it's real. I mean, most of us hide, none of us tell all of our secrets, even in therapy, we don't. But she's telling all of her secrets because she has nothing to lose.
She's gone. She's up in heaven, right?
Yeah, she's gone.
That's why.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that's what I love about your writing. I want to read all your books because
thank you.
Because I represent authors myself, as clients and whatever. And most all of them are kind of like you in the sense that they have other venues as far as writing is concerned.
I've said this to some of my readers and they look at me kind of funny, and I'm telling you, I'm not crazy. But when I put a character on the page, it's as if I actually know them. And when I think they're going to go a certain way and they don't, it's because that's not what they have in mind. I have breathed life into them on the page and they now have a journey and I have an obligation to take them there. And that's how the writing is. I don't have an outline. I sort of had an ending. It didn't exactly go the way I wanted, but the entire rest of the book, sometimes I look at it and I go, I don't even remember writing some of these pages. I mean, I know I did, but these people took me on their journey.
Well, the funny thing about it is, who you like and you don't like in the book.
Yes.
And there's one character in there that I was going to go like this with. He's really evil.
Yes.
Very evil.
Yeah, and we'll see what happens to him in the sequel, won't we?
Oh, yes, we will. And her mother plays a part in it.
Yes, she does.
Which is amazing the way you wrote it. And you never would believe what she did with her mother. Okay. Or the nursing home that she went to visit.
Well, we never want to leave mom out, do we?
No, we don't want to leave mom out because mom was a big part in a sense of this book. Okay?
Even though she only took up a couple pages out of 304 pages, she took up maybe less than 5. But what she did was monumental.
Yes, it was. I thought it was totally, because it really shocked me. Okay, now you guys have to, people, our listeners and our viewers, you have to get to read this book because it is amazing, especially from a therapist's point of view. I really thought you really put a lot into it in this sense.
Yeah.
And I could have used you as a therapist a long time ago.
Thank you. But fortunately, I've retired.
Yeah.
So I can't be anybody's therapist anymore.
I got to tell you something funny. A very good friend of me called me yesterday, who's a nun. And she said, I'm retired. I said, really? No, you're not. She said, I know I'm not. So I don't think we retired totally, or we'd
No.
be sitting in a rocking chair dying.
Well, that's the whole thing. It's like when I was an ICU nurse, I saw people that had choked and this and that and the other. To this day, and my children are older, I don't let them have hard candy. I mean, they're grown with their own children. No hard candy and no carrots. So now, now I have friends who are making ridiculous decisions on their own life journey, and it kills me not to tell them, you're making such a terrible mistake. But if they ask me, I'll tell them. I just can't interject it because nobody wants to be told what to do. But from the outside, you can see the mistakes.
No, and the funny thing is, the reason why you're so young at heart.
At heart, yes.
At heart, and I am too, and
Yeah.
I'm older than you. So I'm like a 14-year-old.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I'm 16. So I must be older than you.
1 year, right? But whenever anybody from my past tells me that's the same age as I am, we're getting old, I go, really? You're getting old? I'm not getting old.
No, I refuse to get old. If you're young in your mind, then you're young. And that's the best thing of all. I refuse to, I'm not going easily to the end. I can tell you that.
We have run out of time, believe it or not.
Oh, it was a lot of fun. Thank you so, so much.
So please tell people where they can go and read about you, because I think, okay, where can they go to do that, and where can they go to purchase the book? And you can go up on your website and see the video, can't you?
Yes, my website is Laurie, it's Laurie, lauriemurphy.net. And it tells all about me and the books that I've written. And you can there's buttons that you can push to go directly to the link on Amazon Books or Barnes and Noble, or at your local booksellers in some cities. So please consider it. I would appreciate it.
Because once you do it, you won't want to not see the sequel, right?
Right. The sequel's going to even be better than the book.
Thank you so much, Laurie, for joining me today. I love your book, Dream Me Home. Whoops, can't wait till the sequel comes out. And, enjoy writing, because I think there's a third and fourth book not maybe in this series, but maybe the next.
Maybe so. I've got a bunch of them in my head.
Okay, so thank you. And don't forget to go to KathrynRaakersWorld.com or our other website, Let's Just Talk, or don't forget the kitchen one, our cooking show, thechefyouandi.com. And we'll see you soon.